Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of our ESL classes. So this week, we're going to go ahead and focus on, let me get this right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on simple past. And what you see here is just a little PowerPoint that indicates right here, if you notice right here, it has the simple past, and we're going to look at it in just a minute, the simple past that we're going to be reviewing this week. We'll be going ahead and we'll be reviewing simple past, and we're going to be reviewing count nouns and proper nouns. So those are going to be the two main skills that we're going to focus on this week. So we're going to go ahead, let me go ahead and put this on the slideshow so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Here you go. Right here, it's week 4, September 12th through the 14th. And we're going to be focusing on the to be simple past forms. So what we always do before the beginning of class, we always start with a word of prayer. So I'm not going to pray right here, but we will pray when we have the class, okay? So if you're just watching us online or if you're just looking at the video, please take a few minutes to be able to say a prayer before you start the class lesson, okay? And then what we have here is week 4. We're going to begin the week with a bit of vocabulary, just like we did last week, reading comprehension and a grammar lesson. The target skill is going to be the past tense, to be. For today, for Tuesday, it's going to be past tense. And for tomorrow, it's going to be count nouns and proper nouns. So I want you guys to watch a small video that's been attached here also, and it's right here. I'm not going to play it, but on your own, go ahead and watch the video, the to be for the past tense. We're going to be writing a narrative again using the to be verb tense. Remember to conjugate the correct pronoun or subject with the correct verb, okay? And so what you have here is the to be past. You have your pronoun I, you, he, she. And if you see it also, and they all have was, whenever you're using the simple past for singular, it's going to be was. The simple past for plural is going to be were. We were, you were, they were. So those are the two that you have to remember. Was and were. I was, you were, they were, we were, he, she, was. Okay? Singular, plural. Singular means only one. Plural means more than one. Okay? So keep that in mind. Was and were, and your subject and your pronouns. And so I sent a previous video. I recorded a video earlier, and on that video I have the PVC. In order for you to be able to have the correct sentence structure for your past tense verbs, we need to make sure that we identify the person or the subject, whoever is doing the action, the verb, which is the word of action, and then the complement, which is what actually closes your sentence with a complete thought. So it's pretty much your predicate, but the predicate, what it does, it just gives it a complete thought, gives your sentence that complete thought that it needs to be able to be a complete sentence, okay? And so the first activity we're going to do is for conversation. You should have your partner clock, your appointment clocks, and I'm going to send you to somebody to do an appointment. And all we're going to do is just look at the different details that are in this picture. I want you to make sure that you're using your vocabulary, the correct tenses in your picture when you're having your conversation with that one person. Okay, so look at all of the details. Look at the girl. Why do you think she has that look on her face? Look at the teacher. Do you think maybe she's coming in late? I'm not going to give you more details because I want you to be able to do the thinking of what is actually happening in this picture. Okay, so take some time to be able to do that. So for Unit 3, This week in Unit 3, we will be focusing on the past tense of be, was, and were, singular and plural. Remember, our conjugation of past tense must agree with our verb to be. Example, these are all singular pronouns. I, he, she, it was. Okay? These are plural pronouns. You, we, they were. You were, we were, they were. Those are all plural pronouns. But remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be a pronoun. It can also be a subject. And the subject or a noun is a person, place, or a thing. And basically what that is the person who's actually doing the action in your sentence. Okay, it could be anything. It could be the car, it could be the dog, it could be the doctor, it could be my mom, it could be anybody. But it's the person who's actually doing the action in the sentence. Okay. And then also we're going to focus on, not today, but tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on nouns, common nouns and proper nouns. Okay. And a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. Okay. And the only thing you need to remember between the common noun and a proper noun, a common noun is anything, any object, anything that represents that was doing the action in the sentence. But a proper noun gives that person or that thing a specific name. And when it has a specific name, it should always be capitalized. For example, Mrs. Gonzalez went to Eagle Pass this weekend. Who went to Eagle Pass? Mrs. Gonzalez. What did she do? She went. Where did she go? To Eagle Pass. So the proper noun would be Mrs. Gonzalez. And another proper noun can be Leticia, Duda, Moses, Andre, Leo, Vinicius, Catherine, Dr. Varela, Dr. Jaques, Dr. Cortez. Those are all proper nouns. SeaWorld is a proper noun. Brazil is a proper noun. San Antonio, Texas is a proper noun. All of those are naming the specific person, place, or thing. Okay? And just know that those go capitalized. And we're also going to be focusing on, when we do that, we're going to be focusing also on countable nouns. Countable nouns. What are countable nouns, Mrs. Gonzalez? It's a noun that can be counted. Okay? For example, apple. Apple is a noun that can be counted. It can be 2, 3 apples. Grapes. Grapes can be counted. 2, 3 grapes. A car. Cars can be counted. Water cannot be counted. Okay? I mean, it can be measured, but it cannot be counted. Okay? Air cannot be counted. It can be felt, but it's not counted. But it is a noun, but it's an uncountable noun. So be very careful when you're looking at the countable and the uncountable nouns, which is one area we're going to be focusing on this week also as well. So we're focusing on was and were. We're focusing on common and proper nouns, countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, all of that's what we're going to be focusing on this week. Take your time. Make sure that you read your instructions well. Make sure that you read the details and everything that the handouts that we have, the book that we have. Make sure you're paying very close attention to the specific requirements that every single skill is teaching us. And so then we're going to do an activity with our partner clocks, with our appointment partners. And what you have here is some cards. You can have partner A and partner B. And partner A will ask the first question. All of these have to do with past tense. You need to make sure that when you're responding to this person, you are using your past tense conjugation and your verbs. Everything has to be past tense. Okay? And right here, what you have is just a little anchor chart to be able to help you remember which one you're going to be using, was or were. Is it going to be singular or is it going to be plural? And here we have, we're going to be reading the story, Sarah's First Day. And I think that that's what the first picture that we saw in this video, the person walking into the room is Sarah, and it's her first day. So we're going to be doing this activity. We're going to be filling in the blank, read the sentence. You can practice it here, but in class, we're going to be reading the sentences, and we're going to be picking the proper word. This is the vocabulary that goes along with the story that we're going to be listening to. So afraid of, the very first word that you have here, over here, right here. The very first word you have here is afraid of, difficult, nervous, principal, and surprised. And if you notice, most of these words have an emotion that's going on here. When somebody is afraid, it's an emotion. If something is difficult, it's a challenge. When somebody is nervous, it's an emotion that somebody is going through. Principle is not an emotion, but it's a person, place, or a thing that is in the story. And of course, surprise. It's another emotion here. So read your sentences and fill in the blank. And sometimes you might have to use two of the same words here in the sentences, but pay very close attention. This is just a prediction of what's going to happen in the story and the vocabulary that we're going to be going over in class. So before you read, I want you to talk to your partner, go to your number 6 appointment partner, and ask your partner, how was your first day at school? Think about it. How was your very first day in your English class school? I know you guys were with Miss Gloria, but how was your very first day? Were you happy? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Talk about it. Explain a little bit to your elbow partner. And to your 6 o'clock appointment. And once your 6 o'clock appointment has finished, then vice versa. Then the other person shares the same questions and answers the same questions that you just answered as well. Okay? So that's what this is going to be. And Catherine, if you don't have a partner, go ahead and do this with somebody that, even if you have a little teddy bear there, let that teddy bear be your partner. Or if your little baby's there, you can talk to your baby and let your baby know, practice with your baby, okay? Or with your littles. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to read Sarah's first day. We're going to listen to Sarah's first day, and then we're going to see if our predictions that we predicted was going to happen actually happen in the story. So then we get a brain break. We're going to go ahead and take a 15-minute brain break because we've been working all morning. So we have 15 minutes. Come back in 15 minutes. Once you come back, I've already set some activities for you on the Off to Class database. So go ahead and work on your Off to Class assignments. For some of you, what I've done with your Off to Class assignments, if it's lower than an 80, if you scored lower than an 80, I reassigned you that activity because the more you practice it, the better you're going to get. So you probably might see, I already did this. Yes, you may have already done it. However, if you scored lower than an 80, I'm going to have you do it over again. Anytime we do it over is just good practice for us, okay? So don't worry about that. And I have this activity. We may or we may not get a chance to be able to do this today on Tuesday, but we will do it this week. And all this is, I'm going to move my little picture here real quick. All this is just everything that we're doing. We're working on subjects, we're working on nouns, we're working with pronouns, we're working with proper nouns. And this visual that you have here, we're going to be filling it in. We'll fill it in together, but I don't want to go ahead and do it right now. We're going to do it together in class, and we're going to be putting together some nouns, some pronouns, some proper nouns, some verbs, past tense verbs, present verbs, everything that we've already gone over in class. We're going to use this picture right here to be able to help us create our story. Okay? So, and I'm going to explain more about that in class, but just know that this activity, we're going to work on it together. That's part of our activity for this week. So look at the picture, fill in the different parts of the speech that the chart has. Make sure your conjugations and your verbs agree. We're going to do it together. This is one that we're going to do together, but you are going to be required to do one later on your own, but we're going to work on this together. So got that in. Hopefully you're online with us. And then, of course, it is Tuesday, and at 11 o'clock, we go to chapel. After chapel, I'm going to ask you guys, you can go eat your meal or whatever they have for us to eat that day. But come back to class because I want to close up. So be back in class. If chapel ends at 12, a little before 12, be back in class by 12:15 so that we can close out our day here in class. Okay? Have a good day. See you guys later.